Mecha Break is about to get a massive update, which does actually include a plethora of balance changes. On top of that, we even have some teasers for a future update, which do include a brand new striker, as well as a new seasonal preview. I'm going to go over everything they've discussed recently, as well as some additional community mentionables and updates there. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, World Utopia here, back with another video. Today we're checking out all things Mecha Break. Let's just jump right into the upcoming update. This is a patch for July 28th. As I mentioned, this includes a plethora of changes, including those balance ones, which we'll deep dive and go into first. Which the first one here is to actually Falcon, which is actually quite surprising. I might have moved this one up a bit on my tier list. It is performing fairly well in arenas and high-ranked arena, but now a really cool one here is his recon kit can be manually canceled, so no more having to sit in that cooldown period. Another insane one here is for every 1 second canceled, the cooldown is reduced by 2.5 seconds. So you can't snap out of it now and even get back into your recon kit a lot quicker. There was some dev commentary here in a dev note. They said that previously Falcon players had to wait a full animation, now the skill use equals more uptime. This is especially needed due to how easily other strikers counter his missiles. And yeah, because of the range there, Tricera and a few others can counter Falcon pretty easily, although he does output a ton of damage. Again, I might do an updated tier list, and Falcon will definitely be placed higher after this buff. Next up here we have Aleseness, where for the ground regeneration, that was increased from 8800 to 9100, and the dev comment there is that Aleseness will now regenerate more energy regardless of form, slightly improving combat uptime. Aleseness is extremely strong in arena right now, but I definitely feel it dragging a bit in Verge, where combat and movement is needed nearly 24/7 in Verge, at least comparative to the arena mode, where you do get a little bit of break time where you can hide a bit, although of course I can't see it helping in both categories. Next up here is quite a massive one. Tricera actually did get nerfed. Its fluid armor regen delay is now from 3.8 seconds to 4.2 seconds. So it is going to take a little bit longer in order to get your fluid armor back. This also includes a nerf to the Gatling turret rotation speed from 160 degrees per second to 130. Again, that is regardless of your sensitivity, that is the turret rotation speed, so it will act more akin to like a tank. Its missile interception fire interval has been increased to a 0.2 second delay. Should help Falcon and a few others get those missiles out. This one is the most massive change though in my opinion. The ammo reload restriction has now been applied to its turret form, meaning it can only reload when it is outside fortress form, so you'll literally have to break your stance there in order to reload your weapons. That change is quite massive to Tricera. The dev note here about that was that Tricera was just too dominant, stationary. It's very strong in arena and both Verge objectives, so I definitely understand that. It could essentially intercept missiles, deal high damage, and even self-heal via repair drone, all without leaving your fortress mode, so you're essentially just a tank stationary. This patch should force players to rotate forms to sustain their damage output and reduce that infinite uptime loop. Next up here we have Stego, which is my personal favorite. So this one does hurt a bit. They've also nerfed the rocket rotation speed, which has been knocked down from 140 to 110. Also, its haste diffuser smoke duration is only 1.5 seconds, so basically a 50% nerf there. And the cooldown of that has been increased from 22 seconds to 30. This one seems super rough overall, but not quite terrible. It will at least have the same damage output in theory. The devs mentioned that Stego was just nearly untouchable due to fast pivots and lingering smoke. They called this out in synergy issues when combined with Tricera, calling it the overpowered duo. I have rocked a lot of Triceras and Stegos in arena. Definitely was one of my favorite combos there. Next up here we have Welkin, who yes, did finally get nerfed here. His force field duration no longer lasts as long, from 12 seconds down to 8. Should be a lot harder to cap points and lock people down. His combo hit damage was reduced for both his second and third hit, meaning he will actually have less damage output now as well. And the spinning slash energy cost went up from 5,800 to 6,500. Welkin was considered a must pick due to the unstoppable frontline presence, and now you must choose your engagement timing more carefully. If you have a really good Welkin in arena, you basically win the game. He's just such a strong striker, so I am happy to see some nerfs there, and hopefully we get some better balance overall with that, and some more dynamic picks. This one actually does include a buff to Narukami, where the energy cap was increased from 17,000 to 20,000. Jump height got a small little buff here from 70 meters to 78. Their decoy range actually got a quite significant buff here from 100 meters to 160. That also does include a buff to the recall range there, so you can recall your drones. And you can now stealth teammates up to 300 meters away. So Narukami could come back in Arena a little bit. Definitely going to help in Verge mode. I noticed that higher ranks of Verge, people were picking off Narukamis pretty easily. And they said it previously felt risky to play with stealth tools that were just too short range. Definitely agree with that. It felt like you got out of your stealth range fairly quick. Now it will play like a true support sniper. This one comes from a previous stream, but they did mention that Hurricane is getting buffed. The main weapon damage got increased from 12k to 14k. The dot got a significant increase. It's still a ×8 multiplier, but it is 1.5 now to 1.9. It does have a bit of an increase to its reload time though, from 3 to 4 seconds. Force field drone can now cast on teammates up to 400 meters away. And a really cool mechanic here, his decoy drone will now explode on melee contact, and it even causes a 1.2 EMP stun. That's super cool, adding to some new mechanics here with that. So they have reworked this striker into a more mid-range support skirmisher, and they wanted to especially shine in Mosh Mach, where decoys even give the chance to Hurricane to be a true anti-melee option for the first time, and potentially giving a nice counter to Welkin. Now I had this one really low on my tier list, and it got a little bit of a controversy with it. But seeing as it is getting buffed, I think I made the right decision on that. For yes, this is applying to Sky Raider. Its missile tick was actually increased from 3,000 to 3,200 with a 48k total. Their disruption missile duration was decreased from 5 seconds to 4. Although now his drones will only reload in striker form. They do mention it is still a powerful counter striker, but that it needs the manual reload rotation now. It is designed to reduce passive zoning dominance, and yeah, because it has that AoE effect, it does cause Tricera and Stego to leave their forms. But I'll be honest, in Arena, as someone that primarily plays Stego or even Tricera, taking down Sky Raider compared to Falcon felt much easier even in higher ranks. And yes, I had to get out of my form more, but if I did that with Falcon, I would be taken out pretty fast. So I am still happy about this buff. I think it did need it. Next up here, Aquila did get nerfed. I know a lot of people are going to be very happy about this. This is one that I would actually have swapped in my tier list. So essentially, I would have replaced this one into the S tier and Narukami down at A, as it has been a dominant force in both Verge and even high-ranked arenas. So I would say the nerf is justified here. The hover drain was now doubled, which is just insane. 50 seconds before, down to 25 seconds of airtime. Its aerial dash energy also costs more, from 2,400 to 2,800, so you're not going to be dodging as much. The overheat threshold has been increased as well, from 24% to 34%, and its airborne regen has been knocked down a little bit by 70 points. They mentioned that too many of these strikers were AFK in the sky. These changes should enforce the active energy awareness. There was that exploit before, but clearly that wasn't enough of a nerf. Now, Panaka did get buffed, but maybe not in the way that you would think. It essentially just was a quality of life fix here to support reliability, where its lock-on reticle was enlarged. We saw another one of those mid-range strikers actually did get buffed. That one applied to Inferno, where the evade is now from 60 meters to 90 meters. Jump height also saw a good increase here from 50 to 70. Ground dash no longer costs as much, so 3,600 down to 3,000, and that also applied to the air evade energy, so a ton more evading from Inferno. Definitely understandable there, especially with its abilities. They mentioned the gap between high and low tier Infernos was about 15%. This essentially aims to improve solo consistency by improving movement economy. Inferno essentially needed specific combos with teammates, especially in the arena mode. This aims to fix that. Last up here for the striker changes, we had Serenith. This one got a massive buff. Another striker that I placed in D tier. I get it has a lot of utilization, and I might have moved this one up to either C or B, especially given how it performs in Verge. I still think previous to this buff, this mech was terrible in Arena. I honestly never even saw it picked once I hit Grandmasters, and especially in General 5. But its ability 1 will now stagger enemies that interrupt actions in short delays. Its ability or Aux 2 cleanses all debuff, including grapples and staggers. That grants a 6-second CC immunity. Its cooldown is unchanged with that as well. The Orbital Strike got kind of a massive buff here, from 1850 to 2200 with a 5k total output. Gonna be great for those stationary mechs. It now also has better mobility across the board, costing less to utilize. The dev note was that it struggled to do low sustainability. Despite having great tools, this buff now shifts her from reactionary to proactive team utility. Definitely agree, especially with the movement stuff. Really cool there to see quite a rework with this striker. Moving on here, we had some game mode updates and PvPvE updates. They've completely changed how Mosh Mach actually works. So now instead of things spawning in sequence for the extraction points, those have now 6 points in total across the map, and they now unlock in pairs. So essentially there will be 2 extraction points every time it unlocks. Again, that was 5 in a sequence, so it was going 1, and then 2, and then 3. So now that's going to be point 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. They also did mention that the cargo rockets are not going to be PvE exclusive objectives, and you can destroy those control panels to launch loot rockets, and those will auto-launch for 3 minutes after that. There was also some glider reworks here, where pressing shift will now break a lock-on, and high-tier gliders will equal more evades. They did mention that flying with gliders essentially made you too easy of a target. That should help there. They also do mention with casual modes, those weekly missions will now count, and a future update will allow live striker plus mod swapping mid-game, which is really cool there for the casual modes, kind of akin to how Arena works right now. There's also some quality of life and UI fixes. For voice chat, there's a new friend-only channel added, in case you just wanted to talk to your friends instead of your squad or teammates. Marketplace is getting a major quality of life change here, where you now have batch actions like claim, list, and even delete, with some new additional search options where you can even preview paint cans now. They've also gone ahead and improved some visuals for HP and armor UI clarity. For the last section here of the dev stream recap, we do have the future content and leaks. As I mentioned, they are unveiling a brand new striker. That's going to happen with the August 11th dev stream. However, it's not going to launch until the next season, but that dev stream also does include a seasonal preview with tier list and rewards unveiled as well there. So that will be a full preview and full breakdown of that. And I will do that on my channel as well if you guys want a quick recap on how that all went. And they'll have some new context around the animated lore. And they did give a little bit of a teaser with an unknown green striker pilot that was teased. So we'll showcase a little bit of the imagery with that. So they kind of did unveil a little bit of what the brand new striker could be. That does cover it for the dev stream recap. We do have a few additional community updates here. There is a brand new weekend special Twitch drop. That one did start today and will last tomorrow until the nighttime PDT. So I would hop on that now so you can claim these colors. There was some new cosmetics unveiled here with the Ace Archive 014. So this one you can purchase and is a new skin for the male. His mech also does apply to Stellaris. So pretty cool there. It has throwing daggers, which look really cool, and even a mask here called the Phantomer. This last mention is if you're at CDCC. There is some exclusive merch that you can pick up here, like a mod assembly toolkit, fiberglass cutting mat, even a little standee statue, some t-shirts, a lanyard, or even a keychain. So pretty cool there. If you are there, you can pick these up. And it does seem like all this merch is exclusive to the San Diego Comic-Con. Hopefully we do get some on the merch store eventually. Overall, it should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and until the next one, deuce.